If you're depressed, right? If you have a lot of different types of symptoms of aggravation, of desperation, of different things that are going on internally that make you feel like you're at wit's end, stressed out, like, I just want to be alone, isolated, all that stuff, right? All been there before. Everybody. I believe that at the core, Jesus Christ in the Bible taught us the remedy. And I believe that if anybody implements this principle, that they can find meaning and purpose and also life, and they can find eventually happiness within the satisfaction of making life about something bigger than themselves. This is what I'm trying to say. Anytime we're focused on ourselves, the person in the mirror, and looking at what you don't have, this is a recipe for disaster. This is what people are really, really good at. Being selfish, right? It comes with the nature of the flesh. Being all about self, right? The happiest people on earth, and I'm not just saying this because it sounds good. I'm telling you, put it to the test and see if it's not true. The happiest people on earth, for real, are the people that put others before themselves. And what does that look like? It looks like you have problems, you have things that are going on, but you're praying for that person over there. And then also, if you have, you're sharing, if you have enough, right? It's not that you're gonna burden yourself, because I wanna tell you what I am saying, what I'm not saying, okay? You have to manage your life. You have to take care of your problems. You have to work out these issues. You gotta do all of that. What am I saying? What am I not saying? I'm not saying to burden yourself with other people's griefs and problems on top of your own, and then feel like you're drowning now in a sea of just despair. And it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that mentally, this is where everything happens in life. Everything is funneled through a perception, perspective, thoughts that then turn into actions, which turn into feelings, etc. So everything's up here. And all I'm saying is this: when you focus on what you lack, what you don't have, who did what to you, when life is funneled through those lens, you're preparing a recipe of bitter food, and that type of food is going to sit wrong within yourself. If you've ever tasted bitter food, it makes you feel bad after. I don't feel right, man. In Spanish we say eso me cayó mal. I wish I hadn't eaten that, right? What I'm saying is just that a lot of people are feeding themselves the type of food that when they ingest it through their thoughts, right, their words, their deeds, their actions, their direction in life, it's all funneled through a lack, or this type of mind frame that life is always happening to me. It's a victim mentality. It's a rejected mind frame. It's I can't catch a break in this and that. And this is what I'm trying to say. You're gonna feel lousy, and until you change your mind, that lousiness will not go away. Period. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm also saying is that when you make life not about what you don't have, but what you do have, and you're grateful, feelings change. Also, when you compare yourself to others, that's a recipe for feeling lousy all over again. Don't compare yourself to others. Why is it that nobody compares themselves to somebody that they're better than? In other words, nobody compares themselves to people in Africa that don't have food, water, shelter, security, etc. It's always to a person that has more than you. Why is it? So you have to peep that and change the way you're thinking. Not to where you feel like you're more superior than other people, because then that in of itself becomes another issue that we got to work on. But that's not the life, right? So what is life? Life is being able to be content with who you are in the mirror, being right within. I believe that the storms that people live within themselves are self-created. If everything inside is going mayhem and all that, like the waves and the wind inside, I mean, that can also be calmed down by that same person. It's their mindset. It's their narrative. It's the story they tell themselves. It's the story they tell themselves about others and life, etc. Change that. Make it positive. Make it something worth benefiting you. Make it something worth worth something like a direction. Gives you direction. You understand that everybody's telling themselves a story. Everybody on earth. We all have something in common. You're the main character in the movie, so to speak. And the story you tell yourself is the type of role you're going to play in the movie. So it's like, who do you want to be? What do you want your future to look like? Change the depressing thoughts that take from you and flip it and help yourself to think about things that feed you instead of take. And little by little of doing this, you'll feel better. With that energy of feeling better, you can then take those feelings of feeling better and implement it into actions and clean up your room, clean up your house, wash your dishes, and all that. That will make you feel better as well. Then take it a step further and go and exercise. That'll make you feel better as well. And then you start to compound all these healthy habits as well as mind frames, and you build a life that you can look back on and say, I remember when I used to be depressed. I remember when I used to be in a dark room, isolated, having suicidal ideology. And now I like to serve, I like to help, I like to do charity, I like to bless people when I can, when I have the time, when I have the resources, and when, my problems have been resolved because I have been on top of it, etc. But people can have problems and still be joyful. Okay? Happiness and joy are not the same. Joy comes from your connection to God. Happiness is a fleeting moment that you attained something you wanted. You wanted a burger, you were hungry, and you had this very epic craving for a burger, and you got it, and you feel happy. Take a bite of that burger, happiness goes down a grade, another grade, as the sandwich is halfway, and when you're finishing it, your happiness is complete as it pertains to that moment. Okay? And then the human looks for something else it wants, and it fights for it, and then it waits to be happy all over again for that next thing. That human is never satisfied. Never. So what do we have to do? We have to implement that type of mindset into ourselves and say, do I have enough? If you have a house, and what I mean by a house is, do you have a roof over your head? Do you have food in your fridge? Right? These are like, if you have that, you have enough. Okay? Everything else is add-ons. It's bonuses. Okay? So, if you don't have that, we can always work on getting you that. Hopefully this video helps you. I'm very much against the victim mentality, and I'm very much against poverty mindset, and I'm very much against scarcity, and it's just like always thinking about kicking a rock and looking at the floor and everything sucks and this and that. That just multiplies that. It doesn't change it. It multiplies it. Think different. Okay? Look for something that is right within your life. Look for something that is good within your life. Look for something to be grateful for. And then focus on that and watch how you feel better. But also, those other things that are negative, start to speak life over it. This is not going to stay this way. This will change. This is not forever. And then you're going to feel better about it, right? Because it's got a tight hold on you because you've been feeding it so much through your thoughts and affirmations of it. And the less you feed it, the more it lets you go until it becomes a distant memory of triumph now that you are living a triumph life over it. So I'm out to help people and bless people, man. I'm preaching and teaching From experience, I've lived it. I understand that life better than most people. I've lived that way. Depressed, isolated, just don't want to be bothered, completely consumed with all of this darkness. I've been there. But look at me now, teaching you the opposite. That should tell you, wow, it's possible. Now, if you shoot down that 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 thought, that idea of it's possible, and be like, yeah, it's possible, but not for me. If you shoot it down, essentially you're closing the door on an opportunity to get to, to get rescued. And you're working with the devil. You're working and cooperating with the devil to your own demise. And people have to understand that. You don't want to cooperate with the devil. If the devil wants your demise, you should be rebelling against him. Stop rebelling against God. Start rebelling against the devil. The devil wants you to isolate, say, no, I'm going to go out and with a bunch of people and just fellowship. The devil wants you to think this way. You'll be like, beautiful opportunity for me to rebel against you. Now I'm going to think this way. I'm going to love myself. You want me to hate myself? You say that I'm disgusting. You say that I'm filthy, that nobody wants me. Okay, that's what you're saying, devil? You are the father of all lies. And so if you are a liar and you're telling me that, then the truth might, is the opposite. I must be very valuable. And when you start telling yourself that, you're getting yourself out of that pit. And you're making an enemy out of the devil, not a friend out of the devil, agreeing with him. Getting out of that pit and onto something better for yourself.